Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Recently, I made a video called Would You Make It? And it was me reviewing all the essential items that I carry with me in my truck that would allow me to be able to get by for 1 to 2 days if I was to find myself in an emergency situation where I was not able to get help right away. Today I wanted to go a little bit deeper into that conversation with something else that I have done that not necessarily is for only when you're on the road, but just a way to have communication and information available to you in the event of an emergency. So let's get started. Today I'm going to be specifically covering some offline apps that I have downloaded onto my phone. And by offline, I mean it will operate in the event that our cell towers were to go down and not able to receive information. Recently, those of you that also may be on TikTok may have encountered the kind of curtain that came down all of a sudden where the app was working 1 minute and the next minute it wasn't. I don't want to spread false information, but it is my understanding that it wasn't necessarily TikTok that shut it down. It was an order from our cell providers that had to close access to that app. So hopefully in seeing that or experiencing that or hearing about it, you have learned how easily it is for things on our phones to be completely shut down, whether it's nefarious or accidental. About a year and a half ago, I started realizing how much we rely on using things like GPS or Googling this or that just to have information. But today I want to go over with you 4 apps that I've downloaded on my phone. One of them is a basic survival kind of reference book. It goes over a few different things. Another one is a medication, almost like a dictionary. It tells you, dosages and what each medication is for and what it does. It just has information that we take for granted that you can just Google and look up. The other one is another more medical-based type app that has the complete human anatomy in a 3D mode where you can pretty much choose anything on the skeleton or the muscle or the organ and get basic information about it. And the last one is a offline GPS app. Again, I hope I'm not spreading false information, but it is my understanding, unless you have a iPhone 14 or newer, which I do not have, you are able to receive direct satellite information onto your phone. However, if you have an older model iPhone, I can't speak for Android because I don't have one, but if you do have an older model iPhone like I have, your information for GPS is basically daisy-chained from a satellite that sends that information to the cell tower and then sends it to your phone. So in the event, if you think of something like the Southern California fires that they just experienced, where cell phone towers were literally on fire and burning, you're trying to get out of a mass populated area and you may be trying to look up alternative routes to get out of there because it's completely jammed and you're not able to because you have no cell service. None of this guarantees that in the event of, say, an EMP, you would have access to your phone. But from my understanding, it's pretty highly likely you would still have a phone that you can turn on and off and operate. You just may not have cell service. So because of the nature of this video, and it is me kind of going over some of the basics of these apps that I have on my phone, what you're really going to see mostly from this point is me talking over screenshot recordings that I took of these apps, just to show you guys basic things and information that they have. First, I want to go over how I store the apps. As you will see, I have an emergency offline apps folder that I created, and that is where I store all of them so that I can find them easily in the event of an emergency. The first app I'm going to open up is the Survival Kit, which you will see the icon there on the left, and to the right is the name of it. I am not sure why it's spelled like that, but it's called Survival Kit. When you first open the app, you're going to see a legal disclaimer basically saying that the techniques demonstrated and talked about are by professionals and that if you don't know what you're doing, you could hurt yourself. The second one is just a statement that I thought was really neat that just talks about the will to survive and to keep going when you believe you've resourced all outlets. Upon opening the menu at the top left there, it will drop down and you'll see the items such as shelter, fire, signals, water, food, hunting, footsteps, fishing, knots, medical emergencies, what to do if, and other. Starting with other, you will see it has survival kit, orientation, climate conditions, primitive tools, ropes, making soap, insect bites, and the snakes. Going back to the top of the menu and opening shelters, you will see before you start, light, choosing a location, climate conditions, raw materials, basic for each structure, wooded areas, harnessing nature, in the cold area, coastal areas, and desert areas. I selected coastal areas as an example. You will see that it defines, talks about the environment, what to look for, what to be aware of, directions, how to build structures and where. It just has a lot of information in it. Going out and back into the main menu and selecting fire. So you see fire lighter, the wood, ignition, rubbing, bow with a rope, lens, reflector, compressed air, battery, wet matches with percussion. I chose with a rope for the example here, and as you will see walking through, it just talks about all the different materials you would need, where to go, how to do it to start that fire. Next on the menu is signals. Now I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I'm just giving you guys some examples of what's in here. So you have electronic signals, signal flare, markers, water, pollen signals, audio signal, Morse code, light signals, signals on the ground. For this example, I chose Morse code. It just talks about what Morse code is, how to use it, and then down at the bottom, it will give you the actual Morse code, signal sounds that you would need to do to use it. Next in the menu is water. It has reduced losses, water sources, solar still, bag, breathable, arid areas, water in the open sea, tropical areas, preparing for use. And as an example for preparing to use, it just talks about, ways to make sure it's not dangerous and ensure that you're not taking in bacteria or anything like that, and different means to be able to not guarantee, but most likely have safe drinking water. And with food, it goes over all the different foods that, you would find out in the wild. Hunting, traps, laces, use of bait, just different ones on that. This one here is for footsteps, how to identify on a path, which could be food, as well as keeping you safe from predators. This is a vulture. So again, just information that we take for granted that we could just Google and look up. And if it becomes unavailable to us, we're going to need something that we can reference that we can guarantee we have access to. And this is all available offline. All right, switching gears here, let's go ahead and open up the drug dictionary. This is what the icon looks like and the name of the app. So upon opening this app, your main menu items are right here in front of us. So you will see drugs dictionary, medical terminology, disease dictionary, and bookmark. Underneath, you'll also see popular drug searches with the name and what they look like. Returning back to the top of the menu, let's choose drug dictionary. As you will see, there's all the list of every drug you are maybe familiar with or not familiar with, but from A to Z, it's alphabetically listed in here, as well as a search bar at the top. Let's go ahead and choose a medication to see what kind of information it gives us. How about furosemide or furosemide? So unfortunately, because this is a free app, I believe this is a way that they make money. You will find an ad in between clicking on the medication that you need information for and getting the information just wait it out and you will get a little X that you can click out of at the top. After you X out of the ad, you will open it up. It'll talk about what the medication is. In this case, it is a diuretic water pill, also used to treat high blood pressure. It will give a picture of the medication, important information such as contraindicators, what you should know about your health before taking it, how you should take it, and missed doses, and important if you overdose, and again, more contraindicators. Going out of this and back into the main menu, selecting medical terminology. This is a list of both technical and I think commonly known as symptoms. Let's go ahead and check out adrenocortical carcinoma. So you open it up, gives you the details, and rare malignancy with poor treatment outcome and prognosis. That's not sounding like something you'd want to have. Anyway, let's go back to the main menu and check disease dictionary. Again, you're going to find the search bar at the top and that everything is in alphabetical order, as well as commonly known and technical terminology. Let's go in and find out what achalasia is. So again, you open it up, it gives you the disease details, an illustration, as well as the description. And it turns out achalasia is, this time, not so severe. It is just muscle spasms. Returning back to the main menu, let's check out the popular drug searches below the menu items. Selecting amoxicillin, you will again get the same description as you did in the drug dictionary, where you get the image of it, what it is, contraindicators, things to do in the event of an overdose or a missed dosage. And as you could see, this would be very helpful if you were not able to access information about taking a medication unknown. So let's navigate back to the main app folder I have on my phone and open up 3D Bones and Muscles Anatomy. Upon opening this app, you're going to see a fairly muscular looking human open up. This app, I believe, was created for anatomy students to be able to have a way to practice and look things up on their phone. Now, I left this in the 9:16 mode so you can see what the menu items look like when you open up the app. However, looking closer, you will see that it has skeleton, muscles, brain, heart, organs, and female, male, hand, 3D anatomy, ear, foot, website. Let's go ahead and choose brain and see what this looks like when we open it up. Oh, hello. After he loads, this is what it will look like on your phone. Zoomed in, you will see the brain, and you select whatever you want to look at, and it will turn green like that. And then you're going to hit the I for information on the left top of the screen there. You'll see once I did this, it switched the part of the brain to the frontal lobe. But once the information loads, you go underneath and it will show you the name, the description, and all the details of that part of the body part that you selected. Going back to the main menu, here I chose organs so you could see kind of the 3D effect that it has on the screen, as well as the rotation that you can do. If you found someone hurt and they're laying on their side or their back or stomach, and you're trying to identify what exactly is going on, something like that I would think could be pretty handy. Here I chose the heart. And again, it gives you the name and the description and all the details of it. Going back to the main menu, this time I selected skeleton. And again, you'll have a full, 360-degree 3D version of all the bones in the body. Chose the scapula. Again, the name, description, and the details of it. And back to the main menu. So, this app to me seems it would be more handy even if you did have access to the internet in a situation where maybe you find a car accident and there are people on the side of the road that need help and you just don't know where to start or how to proceed. Something like this could really help. So before I open the last app in my folder here, I want to show you guys that I'm going to put my phone here in airplane mode because this is the GPS navigation one that you would be wanting to use when you don't have network access. Now that it's in airplane mode, we are going to be opening CGIC, is how I pronounce it. As you will see by opening it, that using your thumbs you can rotate around and essentially see anywhere on Earth, all of the different continents. And we're going to rotate back around to the United States, where you'll see that blue arrow. I'm in Montana. There's Canada, way up there, the United States, and then Mexico down below. And showing you how this is going to work using that blue arrow. Let's say I'm going to drive to Georgia. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to pick a spot there. Looks like we are going to North Lake Drive, 544 North Lake Drive in Canton, Georgia. It is now processing my request and will shortly show me the time I'm going to arrive there and how long it's going to take. You will see there's some quick actions here, route options, extra features you can share. I'm going to go ahead and select route options, and then it will open up another panel. So you things to avoid. If you really want to exercise, you could switch to walking, and instructions. I believe below it has favorites, share, and then to drop a pin. I'm going to go ahead and select instructions. Now, since I don't want you to know exactly where I live, I did start about halfway there. It will give you step-by-step turns and how many miles. You can also look up amenities as needed along the way, such as gas or charging stations. Now remember, this is all offline. So if you do not have service on your phone, you can see the list of states. You don't have to download all of them. I did choose to download all the states, even if I want to drive to Hawaii, including Canada as well. One advantage to having this app, regardless of having access to your cell network or not, is it can be hard to find paper maps nowadays. I have gone to 4 or 5 different areas or places around my area and have yet to find one that has a paper map of our local area. This app also does update any changes. So again, even if you have paper maps, things do change. And although our online maps, our network maps update that, if you don't have access to it, this would. Now, I did mention that I downloaded the Canada map, and in the event that, SHTF, I'm probably going to want to head up to Saskatchewan and go find Canadian Prepper. So let's see how well it works up in that area. I'm going to select Regina. I believe he's in Saskatoon, but let's see what we can find in Regina. All right, it's mapped me out. It's told me the amount of time it's going to take to get there. And let's head over and see what's in the town of Regina. Would it be a good resource to start looking for Canadian Prepper in? Let's go look. If we zoom in, we can see all the highways. We can then start to see, just like any kind of online map, but again, this is offline, all the amenities that are available: gas stations, restaurants, grocery stores, hardware supply. So it definitely looks like a good little town to raid some supplies before I go over and crash Canadian Prepper's bunker over in Saskatoon. But I just wanted to show you guys just some examples of things that we take for granted that would be necessary in a situation where we do not have access to the amenities like our cell phone network as we do every day. There are certainly other apps like pet medications and other things like that that would be helpful. I should probably look for, but for now, that's where I've started. And I hope this kind of sparks some ideas for you guys. Take care.